Hey everybody, Briggsville here, and I thought I'd do a little review of Payday 2. Now, the game released yesterday, and I've been playing it a lot. I'm level 24. I've played quite a few missions. I've done pretty much all of the missions at least once. And I've come to several conclusions, of which I'll explain along the way. But the first thing I want to show you folks is the safe house. Now, this game, when you start, you have to go through the safe house. It's kind of like the tutorial tells you what to do in that. The problem is during the tutorial it says that you're eventually this area is going to be able to be customized. Now, they haven't done that. The game has come basically out without having the ability to customize this place, which is disappointing, because that's a reason why you have offshore account, is for you to build up stores of money and actually upgrade certain things outside of actual game things. Now, if I just go into the vault, I can show you. I've got 20 million in my offshore account. That's what 20 million looks like. Very nice. It's very simple that this area is purely for tutorial basis. I'm not going to go into it. I'm going to just quickly exit out of it. But the first thing that you will notice is that, to be honest, not much is... There is no real usage for the safe house. In all honesty, there's no real usage for the safe house. Pretty much. What I will go into here now is the skills. Now, the skills is similar. It's kind of similar to the kind of World of Warcraft type skill system where you buy points. The only difference is you actually spend money to buy points, which is, to me, rather annoying. I don't like doing that, because I mean, when you get to this level, it costs 4 points, which you get 1 point every time you level up. But it costs $264,000 to upgrade some of these. Now, I mean, I've only got 140,000. I don't think I've ever had 240,000 at any one time. I've always spent it on points and such. But I mean, there are so many different trees and such that you can use and go through, and it changes it changes through the game depending on what you want to do. Now, for me, what I want to do is I want to try and be as stealthy as possible. I want to try and get through and get as much money as possible. That's what this tree kind of does. Now, in the inventory, this is probably where the best bit about this game is all about, because there's a number of different weapons you can choose from, i.e. these ones that have been unlocked. And in these weapons there are several different pages worth of equipment that you can put on your guns. Now, another problem is that when you unlock this equipment, it doesn't technically become available until you purchase it onto your weapon. So if I unlock, say, the professional choice, which is this little scope here, when I unlock it, I then have to pay $58,500 to actually equip it onto my gun. Now, for some people, they may think that's fine. But if you haven't got a lot of money, which is, 58,000 is quite a lot of money, especially if you've only just started playing. I mean, it seems a bit heavy to me. Here we've got all the equipment. Luckily, the equipment doesn't actually cost the armor doesn't actually cost you any money, which is always nice to see. The equipment is also the same; it doesn't cost you any money. It does cost you to unlock them when you in the skill tree. And mask. Now, this is also another area where things are different. Now, this mask you unlock from when you complete games. I'll try and show that in a few minutes' time. And you unlock skins, and you unlock materials, and you unlock all these kind of different things. I haven't got another mask to show you, but I quite like this mask. I think it's pretty cool. And obviously you can then select your character, which becomes completely irrelevant at a certain point. And here's my main character. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go into offline mode. Crime.net, which is the online mode, it works to a certain degree. At the moment that there's some issues with connecting to certain people. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's just the way it works at the moment. Obviously they'll be patching it and stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally play with the AI, because that's something that you may have seen from my last review of Payday the Heist, is something that needed to be kind of worked with. So let's just do 4 stores. This is pretty much the easiest mission to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through it, and I'm going to explain what the game's all about, give you an idea of what the graphics look like, and generally just how this game works.
I know Vlad is nuts, but he's got a lot of connections, and I have a good feeling about him having a line on some big jobs down the line. This is a good start. Just stay frosty till things heat. Okay, we're coming up on Vlad's old stomping grounds. Go in there and get Vlad his money. Send a message to these people that no one is safe from Crazy Vlad. Roll out before the cops shut you down.
So, to begin with, you're in casing mode. Okay? Your casing mode, you're just literally walking around and you're just looking at things where you want to start. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm probably not going to complete this mission. I'm probably going to fail it. But I will say this. This mission is for me a spam mission, because what people can do is when they're a high enough level, you can buy a saw. Now this saw replaces your primary weapon, and this saw basically allows you to go in and rob ATM machines really quickly, and I mean super quickly, like 10-second job sort of thing. Now this mission, all it requires is that you get $15,000 worth of goods or cash. Once you've got that $15,000, a car will come and pick you up, and that is the whole mission. That's just this mission. It's called 4 stores. Now, if you have the saw, I have done this in about, I think 2 minutes was my quickest that I've ever done it. 2 minutes. Now, if I'm going to do this normally, like I'm doing it now, you'll see that it'll take a lot longer than 50 minutes. Sorry, 2 minutes. Now, I will say this. If you go too close to the guards in any way, shape or form, you will get seen, and they'll case you and they'll try and arrest you. And that goes the same for any security cameras. If you go close to them, they will obviously pick you up. Now, I've put my mask on. I am now going to black that window down and go through the registers, getting as much money as possible. I'm going to go through all of them and hopefully get to 15,000. It's possible that I won't do though. So let's go.
They have cameras. Take them out.
Down. Hands up, head down. Down. Drop. Everybody get down on the ground.
So,
don't move.
Here you've noticed some safes. I'm going to start the drills here.
Stay down.
But I may...
That must be full of valuables. I can understand why Vlad wants these businesses running.
Another drill here. Now, you can, if you wanted to, wait until the end and actually unlock... Not unlock as such, but wait until the drill's finished, or you can try and find the cash, which I'm trying to find here. I've got the 15,000 either. So it's going to take a couple of minutes probably for the that thing to come in, the van to come in. But until then, I'm going to try and do some more money and
stay down.
Another thing there. Now I've done this mission hundreds of times. I think I've been in here already. Yes, I have. I've got that. I've been in this mission hundreds and hundreds of times, and I might go down here if I'm not lucky. Don't shoot the civilians. So I know exactly what's happening at the moment. I mean, this is on easiest difficulty. So.
We need to get it fixed. Right out.
I'm not specifically bothered about the other drills. I'm going to focus on these 2 drills and then get out. Or I could just go right now. I'll wait for a minute or so. Oh, that's got 2 minutes. 2:20.
Stay down.
I'll wait until this drill is done for sure and then get out of here. Now, I will say this. The game looks better. It plays better. I think the AI work a lot better than they did before. I think if you saw the last video that I did, you'll know that the AI suck ass in Payday 1. In this, they're not too bad. I mean, they're sitting here like this because a little bit. I mean, you can't.
Stay still.
You can't tell them to go and sort the. Yeah, I mean, you can't go and tell them to fix the drills. So that's why having a full team would be really well documented, like well, for getting these things done really quickly without any kind of issues. There are many other different ways of doing all this sort of stuff. You can literally just get the C4 and blow the C4. Or you can get a saw, as I mentioned earlier, and some doors and some places will work better in regards to that. Right, I'm going to get this cash, and then we are going to that's if there's any in there. There is. It's 13,000. That's quite nice. I'm quite happy with that. So run away. Now remember, this is the easiest difficulty. Done. It would be done if I actually got into the area. So there we have. I've got to level 25, which is also quite nice. So when you complete a mission, you get offshore account money and you get spending cash. As you can see, it's not very much money because it's the first mission. But I will say this. If you have a good team, a good enough team, you can go through some of these missions without actually alerting any of the police. You can actually do it very quickly and get through very well. That's if you play with a good enough team. I will say this. Out there in this game, there are people who really, really like to just screw around and mess around and play really lamely, in my opinion. Lamely. They are very difficult to find, and they're also very difficult to avoid. They will pop up all over the place without even realising. That is really irritating. I've just unlocked a nice little new mask there, which is great. I'll show you that in a minute. So if I want to buy that mask now, I have to spend $4,000 to get it up. That's what it looks like. I'm not a fan of that. I'm going to sell it. But and also, I think I've unlocked a new weapon, haven't I? Yeah, I've unlocked. I might wait for that para submachine gun to come up and then. Anyway, so that's the game in its basic form. And I was just trying to say about some of the other players. Some of them are really good players, and some of them are good to play with and will play the game fine and normally. There are occasionally you'll find people, especially hosts. When the host's a bit of a knob, then you might have some problems because the host, just to be an absolute tool, will actually kick people from the game when the mission is about to complete, so that person doesn't get any XP and they doesn't get any cash. And now that's a sign of some people that play this game being complete tool, but that's just the way there is for some of these games, and unfortunately there's no way around doing that. If you get kicked from a game, or if you lose connection to the host, then there's no way back into the game, because being kicked means you're automatically kicked. You're banned from that room. You can't get back into that room, no matter how well you're doing or not. So that, to me, was a big disappointment. When you're playing really well and you're doing really good and you're about to win the game and someone kicks you just purely because they think that it's funny, or they think that you're being a knob or whatever. Anyway, so you've seen some of the game. It's not massively different to Payday the Heist. It is, however, a little bit more random. I will, though, just for the sake of clarity, say this: there are several different missions. Some of them missions are similar, like for instance the bank heist missions. There are 3 different types of bank heist missions. You've got bank heist deposit boxes, bank heist cash, and bank heist gold. Those 3 take place in the same bank. The problem is the loot at the end of the day is different. That annoys me a little bit because of 2 reasons. I want it to be more random, more spontaneous. I want to turn up to a bank and not have the same building, the same bank. Who in their right mind would keep robbing the same banks after the same bank? Because the bank would cotton on to the fact that you're doing that. There is also the same mission, one called Jewelry Store. I think it's Jewelry Store. I can't actually see it on this. It's not on here now. Jewelry Store, there we go. There's a Jewelry Store, and there's also another one called... What is it? Ukrainian Job.
My friends, Vlad needs some small help with wedding planning.
Yeah, it's called Ukrainian Job, and it's basically the same job as Jewelry Store, except that you're not stealing jewelry itself, you're stealing one piece of jewelry, but it's exactly the same, pretty much. For me, that kind of just copy and paste mentality that has been created in this game bothers me intently. What I wanted to see is mission upon mission that's completely different to the others, or just randomly different. There can't be that much. I mean, how much effort went into making the bank heist? I'll show you the bank heist. Okay, I'll just go in and create a new bank heist here when one pops up. This bit's annoying as well, actually having to wait to see what pops up. And you can't actually choose one particularly. You have to wait until it pops up, which is slightly silly. For anyone who doesn't have a clue on what the yellow dots are, they are kind of difficulty modifiers. You get bonuses for doing the mission because it's going to be a lot harder. The waves of enemies or the police become harder and harder as we go along. So I have to wait now until one of the bank heist pops up. I'm not going to do the bank heist gold. There we go, bank heist cash. Right, let's just load this up quickly. I'm probably not gonna go through with it because I won't be able to do it. Now, I will say this: you can buy assets. That's one really good thing. Let's just wait for this fucking guy to shut up.
Oh, my guy stashed the thermal drill around the back of the bank. Good luck out there, people.
Now, with this game, certain heists, as it were, certain jobs will allow you to buy assets. These assets will allow you to see more about the game and be able to do the missions a lot quicker. Insider information will give you information about what's inside the bank, what the layout is as such. As you can see, this is the layout normal, but there are obviously different places where to find certain things. Doctor's bag, ammo bag, camera feed. Kind of very simple indeed. So, the problem with this is this bank heist cash is pretty much exactly the same to the other 2 bank heists missions. So I pretty much know almost certainly where everything is going to be. And I can prove that by doing this mission the way I want to do it. Now, there is random features to the game. Of course there are random features to the game. That's just how it works. For instance, you can go through this fence if you want to do. Sometimes this door's open. Sometimes there isn't a camera there. Of course, it is to a certain extent random. But the problem is the bank itself is the same bank every single time, regardless if there is any gold in there or if there's any cash in there. It's all the same every single time. So let me put my mask on, shall we?
Alright, let's do this.
Okay, great. Now get that thing.
So I've got a drill. This drill allows me to go into the vault. My guys are doing nothing as normal. There is a camera there. If I put my jammer, it shouldn't see me. Now, I'm going to test this out because I've never actually tried this before. And it works, okay. Now I have to take about 15 million minutes of picking this lock. Whoa. So that runs out. Okay, so there's a limited amount of time that can. Now that I didn't know. The jammer has a specific time limit. Interesting. It's not a problem. So, to the left of me or to the right of me, there will be most likely a guard. There will also probably be the guard room itself, the security room. There is a guard on the right. Is there a guard on the left? He didn't see me there. Noticed that the guard's going to walk away. The security room is there. Interesting. I can place the drill on the door. If I had the card, I can get into the door. But I knew that was there. That's the thing.
Hit the ground, all of you. Get down on the ground, everybody.
People on the floor.
Stay there.
Keep them down.
Stay down.
Rob a little money. Cameras, whatever, I don't care.
Now we go the payday.
Because there was no way I...
Oh, chains. Follow me.
Be here in 20.
Right,
Nice.
Get down on
Now
the
start
ground.
her up.
so I'm going to start the drill up.
Here we go. We should be through in a
Hands
couple
up,
of
head
minutes.
down. And don't look up.
So, the key card is in here. How did I know that? Because there's two places it can be. Either in that room or on the manager. The manager sometimes runs away with it, sometimes he doesn't. Especially if that door is open, which it isn't. Any more guards in there?
Police are here.
So now I have to keep an eye on the drill that's going on downstairs. I also have to think about the assault that's coming. So I'll have to get these planks. There's usually 3 planks around, 2 max. No, sorry, 3 max, 2 min, as it were. Why that guard would come back into the bank, I have no idea. And of course, now I'm getting shot like hell from these cops. But you get the idea that this bank isn't a random bank, because I know things are where they are. Like, for instance, if I walk out this door, I know for a fact that there is going to be... I've just killed a civilian. But
Hey, chains. Come with me.
now, if I come through here, I know that over here is the planks. Yeah, there it is, right there. No, it's not every round that happens, but it's a good shot to actually go there and find out. Now, if my AI were a good AI, they would actually help me out somewhat. But instead, I have to kill everybody and sort the drill out myself, because that's just the way it is. How unfortunate. Guys, I don't need to go on about this anymore. I think it's pretty self-explanatory that there are some aspects of this game that are really fantastic, and I absolutely love everything about this game. But there are some things that just, they kind of irritate me a little bit, and it's that irritation that's going to stop me from, eventually stop me from playing this game, unless Overkill, who created the game, actually decide that they want to change something about it. Anyway, let's get the hell out of here. I don't care anymore. So, to sum it all up, if you've played Payday the Heist, the first one, and you liked it, then you will really like this one. There's no doubt about it. You will like this one. The things you may not like a bit about this one is the fact that money in this game is really important. If you don't have any of it, you can't really do much in terms of upgrading your skills and such. You need to complete banks and jobs to get money and to get experience. That's the way it works. The problem is that if you don't have a really good crew with you, you can only really do 1 or 2 missions. If you then get a good crew and you go and work together, this game is actually quite simple and quite easy. I will say this about it. It looks good and it feels good. If you like this kind of heist type game where you're facing waves of enemies and a system that doesn't really allow you to cheat as much as it used to, where you could play this game and you could cheat your way through it by just spamming a certain mission. Now, technically, you could spam four stores if you wanted to, but it's built into the game. It's almost as if the game developers built the first mission to do that just for the sake of doing it. Anyway, my verdict for this game is that regardless of if you've played it or not, you'll like it. I imagine you would like it, as long as you like kind of the same missions over and over again. I mean, there are quite a few missions, don't get me wrong. There's like, what, 12 missions? 13 missions? 7 of them are genuinely original, whereas some of the others are kind of bits and pieces have taken from other missions. So, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been, I hope you guys get some ideas about what this game's all about. I do recommend it. I think it is a good game, but I do suggest that if you will play it, you need to play with a good team, a good group of friends that you know and that you can trust, because otherwise you might get shafted. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.